The sell-off continued today on growing concern that Europe's debt crisis will worsen. For the details, let's go to Braitman at the New York Stock Exchange. Ellen.
Pam, you take a look at the closing numbers. They are not pretty. We were down 1.1% for the Dow, the S&P losing 1.6% for the NASDAQ, really very, very close to a 2% loss. And it was really broad. 28 of 30 Dow stocks down. All 10 industry groups that make up the S&P also lower. Information technology, financials, and energy leading the way. And as you said, really concerns about Europe. Can those most indebted countries pay their debts? There's a big question mark, even after the European Central Bank today stepped into the market to buy some of Italy's government bonds. Also at home, we're getting much closer to that super committee deadline. No agreement in sight, it seems, when it comes to cutting the deficit. Also, a report from the Philly Fed showed manufacturing in that area expanding less than expected this month. So all of this overshadowing a third weekly drop in unemployment claims. In fact, the fewest number of people applying for unemployment in 7 months. Talking about some specific stocks, Delphi Automotive falling on its first day of trading after its IPO priced at the low end. What's interesting, though, investor Wayne Wilbank saying pretty impressive that they were able to get a cyclical company like Delphi public in such a tough market. Another IPO that hit the street today, that was the consumer review site Angie's List. Stock surged 25%. Then after the bell, we had Gap saying profit declined by 36% in the most recent 3 months, hurt by a drop in sales at Gap as well as Old Navy. So, Pim, we'll be watching those Gap shares tomorrow.
And Ellen, tell me about commodities, a sell-off there too.
Yeah, that's the European story as well. The group, in fact, down the most in September because of the concern that the slowdown in Europe is spreading and denting demand. Silver really taking it on the chin. That was down just over 6%. All the stocks in the Philly Gold and Silver Index were lower. Barrick Gold and Freeport-McMoRan helping to lead that drop. Gas, corn, and wheat off more than 4% each. So, Pim, no matter where you look, it is a sea of red. Back over to you.
Thank you very much. Ellen Braitman reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.